Good afternoon, and welcome to Biodiesel Magazine's 2020 Editorial Outlook webinar, sponsored by the Biodiesel Production Technology Summit. My name is Ron Cutterba, and I'm the editor of Biodiesel Magazine. Today I'll be joined by John Nelson, our Vice President of Marketing and Sales, for an overview of who we are, who our audience is, and the various platforms we have in our product line. Then we'll go over our editorial calendar for the upcoming year and planned bonus distribution for our 4 print issues in 2020. You'll want to stay on the line because at the end of our broadcast, we'll have an exclusive discount on print advertising for those of you attending this webinar. Before I hand it over to John, I'd like to make a few comments on the state of the U.S. biodiesel industry. Without question, this past year has been challenging. Nearly 2 years without the biodiesel tax credit and EPA's voluminous granting of small refinery waivers have forced some biodiesel producers to idle production, while several others have made cutbacks to produce only at a fraction of their capacity. The 31 small refinery waivers EPA granted August 9th caused such backlash from biofuel producers and farmers that President Trump was pressured to negotiate a deal between them and the other side, Big Oil and his own EPA. The result was a deal to curb biofuel demand destruction from small refinery waivers through an accounting of projected waivers using a 3-year average of gallons waived, which was highly welcomed by the biofuel industries. But when EPA released its proposal, the agency suggested using a 3-year average of DOE waiver recommendations, not actual gallons waived, which, once again, sparked outrage among farmers and biofuel producers who felt the whole deal was a bait and switch. Yet again, significant pressure is being exerted on the president from his base to steer EPA toward honoring the deal originally struck. The final rule is expected later this year. Moving to Congress, we are going on nearly 2 years without the $1 per gallon biodiesel tax credit, which expired at the end of 2017. But the biodiesel incentive isn't the only expired tax credit. Many other industries are suffering from important tax credit lapses that expired at the end of 2017 or 2018, with yet even more to come at the end of this year. There's tremendous pressure on Congress from a variety of industries and business sectors, from realtors to veterinarians to railroads and biofuel producers, to act on a tax extenders package this year. Bills already exist in the House and the Senate to reinstate the tax credit, one of which was marked up in the Ways and Means Committee earlier this year. And just yesterday, Democrats on a Ways and Means subcommittee released a discussion draft for what's called the Green Act, which, among other things, includes a multi-year extension and eventual phase-out of the biodiesel tax credit. One of the most promising legislative vehicles on which a tax extenders package is expected to move is appropriations legislation to fund the government. It appears, however, that the deadline for this process is going to be punted from November 21st to December 20th, as the House yesterday passed a stopgap measure to keep the government running for another month while a full appropriations package is worked out. Meanwhile, biodiesel champions and lobbyists, as well as lobbyists for dozens of other industries, will continue to beat the drum on why a tax extenders measure is so vitally important. So, with that background, as gloomy as the situation may seem, 2020 could very well be a much better year than expected for the biodiesel sector. And here's why. One thing we hear an awful lot about is how EPA has proposed to flatline the biodiesel RVO for 2021. And while that's concerning, what's often overlooked is how we're moving from a 2.1 billion gallon RVO in 2019 to a 2.43 billion gallon RVO in 2020. That's an increase of 330 million gallons, 16%. That's an increase that would support the output of 33 10 million gallon per year plants or 66 5 million gallon per year plants. It's not a small increase. When you couple this higher RVO with the fact that EPA will be implementing an accounting process for projected waivers, meaning less demand destruction and greater reliability that the volumes blended will be more in line with the volumes required by law, this can be a considerable market driver in the biodiesel industry. Certainly, we can argue whether the final rule EPA is going to put out later this year uses an average of the less desirable DOE figures or the more desirable actual wave gallons, but even the less preferred method will be better than no accounting. So when one considers an RVO that's increasing by 16% next year, coupled with less demand destruction through accounting of projected waivers, and the fact that this industry is currently producing well below its capacity, it's reasonable to predict that RIN credit prices will rise next year through the simple laws of supply and demand. And this would be a solid motivator for biodiesel producers to start cranking out volumes again. So with that brief market update, I'll hand it over to John Nelson, and I'll be back in a bit to discuss our 2020 print issue themes and bonus distribution. John?
Thanks, Ron. I really appreciate the extra information you provided our attendees on today's webinar. I also want to just thank everyone for listening in and taking the time to hear more about what we have to offer at Biodiesel Magazine. I'm going to take a couple moments here and walk through Biodiesel Magazine's readership and online presence, and I'd like to start with our e-newsletter. Biodiesel Magazine's Biodiesel World News e-newsletter goes out to 12,350 industry stakeholders and producers of biodiesel every 2 weeks. The audience on this newsletter has opted into receiving this information, and we've built this targeted email list since our first issue was sent in 2004. So you can be sure that if you're looking to target the biodiesel industry quickly, an advertisement on the e-newsletter is a great platform for you. Going on to our online presence here, we are extremely proud of our numbers on biodieselmagazine.com. Ron and his team are diligently working each week to bring our audience timely and relevant content that keeps readers coming back for important news and features and updated information about the biodiesel industry. Through ongoing stories posted to the website, top news videos, new and original content, production facility maps, webinars, press releases, listings in the biodiesel industry directory, and search engine optimization strategies, our magazine website is generating traffic with a very engaged audience, as you can see on the numbers here on this slide. We're creating content for a very specific audience, and you can see that we have more than 38,000 page views or impressions each month. This means your online advertisement that you purchase has the potential to be viewed 38,000 times a month by roughly 21,000 people. Also, we have visitors from around the globe. The U.S. is clearly the largest sector here. However, we see a large portion of our audience from other countries. You have India, Canada, UK, Australia, and others. They all visit biodieselmagazine.com to learn more about the industry, including learning more about your products and services you are advertising. I also have on the slide some social media stats. So our social media followers are posted, and we've grown to more than 5,800 followers on Twitter and more than 3,200 followers on Facebook. And this is important because as people become more and more connected to their phones, computers, tablets, we are leveraging this behavior to drive traffic to our websites. We post every story created by Ron and his team to our social media sites. In turn, people click and share these stories. When they're clicked, they go back to biodieselmagazine.com to read the story and see the advertisements that you have placed online. We even have an option for advertisers to be our social media sponsor for each month. New this year to Biodiesel Magazine is our digital press package offering. We've combined our paid press release service, our top news video sponsorships, and our online advertising platform into a lower price package that can help create a digital campaign that hits some of our most engaging platforms. You're able to take advantage of our news emailing list and get your product or service sent via email in a press release format. And you can be the sponsor of our weekly top news video, which generates customer engagement. The top news video is published and sent in both our e-newsletter that goes out to nearly 13,000 people, as I mentioned earlier, and is posted at the top of our website with a link directed back to your website. In addition to the video and press release, you are able to post an advertisement to our website where it will generate impressions and clicks. This package is designed for marketers who are looking to monitor and track their advertisement's performance and quickly get their message out to our audience. You can learn more about the digital press package and its special pricing by contacting one of our account managers. They can also give you some information on how they'll help track the performance of each ad. They can be reached at service@bbiinternational.com. All right, moving on to our magazine. So each quarterly print publication is mailed to 5,000 professionals in the biodiesel industry. More importantly, we send the print publication to 860 future or existing biodiesel and biofuels producers. We see that the majority of our print subscribers are inside the U.S. However, you will see this change, as we get more and more digital subscribers coming online, which we are starting to see some trend there as well. But right now, most of our print publication is within the U.S. So one question is, we see a total of 13,000 total audience, and the number is based on third-party research we've conducted. Even though we're mailing out 5,000, our total number of readers is 13,000. And again, it's based on some third-party research that we've conducted. We see on average 2.6 readers per issue. Every publication that is mailed out containing your advertisement has 2.6 readers looking at it. This means, again, 13,000 people will look at your print advertisement. And again, this is in addition to the bonus distribution that Ron will go over in a few minutes here. So who gets Biodiesel Magazine? We see producers as the top sector, followed by consultants, equipment and service providers, technology and engineering firms, and so on. By purchasing advertising in Biodiesel Magazine's print publication, you can be confident that you are reaching decision makers at production facilities who are interested in learning about new products and services available to the biodiesel industry. So I have some print facts listed on this next slide, and because sometimes I get the question of print advertising and its effectiveness in today's market. Without a doubt, print advertising in industry-specific publications is a valuable and effective tool for marketers and companies looking to reach a niche audience. On the slide before you, we've displayed some stats that help demonstrate why print is necessary in a fully integrated marketing plan. Based on MRI Simmons Starch advertising research in 2018, 62% of magazine readers act after seeing a print magazine ad, and 52% recall a product or service, because ads in magazines are more engaging and valued when compared to other media platforms. Print ads tend to create more of a positive experience for the audience as well. And similar to digital advertising, larger ads and premium positions create stronger awareness. We've also tested this theory with our own audience through a third-party research firm, and it holds true with Biodiesel Magazine. For more details on our research, please see our media kit listed on biodieselmagazine.com or contact an account manager. Here's a listing of all of our products and platforms available to you as an advertiser, in addition to our traditional print publication advertising. Recently, we started producing the Product Spotlight, where we'll write a 400 to 500 word story about your company, in addition to giving you an advertisement, and publish it in Biodiesel Magazine's Spotlight section within the print magazine. The U.S. and Canada biodiesel wall plant map, year over year, continues to be a popular product for advertisers because the map contains updated data on all biodiesel production facilities within the U.S. and Canada, and is mailed to all production facilities listed as well. And it's also mailed to our subscribers in many of the events that we attend that are important to the industry. Again, Ron will cover those here coming up shortly. The Biodiesel Industry Directory is one of the most used and anticipated ancillary products of Biodiesel Magazine. It has been a staple within the industry for years and sits on people's desks year-round. We offer one free listing per company, so I would highly recommend going online or contacting us to take advantage of it. Because of its long shelf life, I also encourage you to take a look at the advertising options within the directory. And I want to note here that this year, the Biodiesel Industry Directory is attached to the 2020 winter issue of Biodiesel Magazine, and you're still able to place advertising within that issue. It closes November 25th. So again, because of the directory, it'll have a long shelf life. I highly recommend getting into that publication. It is a great option for advertising. I'd also like to cover webinars. Webinars are one of our most popular products we offer. Much like today's webinar, we'll help design, produce, and market a custom webinar focused on your company's product or service and promote it to the biodiesel industry. These webinars have been most effective when companies use case studies on how their product or service has been effective and help producers be more efficient and profitable. In addition to advertising the webinars and promoting your company as the webinar sponsor online in our e-newsletter and weekly videos, you will also gain access to all the registrants of the event. It is an effective and engaging way to generate leads. So, as you can see, Biodiesel Magazine has many products and platforms that can help you reach and engage the biodiesel industry. Please contact us at service@bbiinternational.com to learn more. Our account managers will be more than happy to speak with you. Ron, back to you.
Hey, thank you, John. Now I'll briefly go over the the themes and bonus distributions for our 4 print issues in 2020. I'll start with our winter issue. The winter issue, as John mentioned, is bound together with our Biodiesel Industry Directory. This is typically our largest and most popular issue of the year for at least 3 reasons. And those reasons are its theme, its 12-month shelf life with the directory, and its large bonus distribution, beginning with its placement in all attendee bags at the National Biodiesel Conference. The theme of the winter issue is project development, which encompasses process design, plant optimization, expansions, retrofits, and mergers and acquisitions. And then also it's a co-theme would be production technologies, including equipment and catalysts, and finally a year in review and industry outlook. Bonus distribution for our winter issue includes, as I said, placement in all attendee bags at the National Biodiesel Conference. That's going to be in Tampa this year, January 20 through 23rd. In addition to that, we've got the Iowa Renewable Fuel Summit, the International Biomass Conference and Expo, the American Oil Chemist Society annual meeting, the International Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo, and the Biodiesel Production Technology Summit, which is a new conference launching next year, the Jacobson Biodiesel Feedstock Conference, and the Commodity Classic. So to reiterate, the winter edition is a highly popular issue whose shelf life is 12 months. And to advertise your offerings to the industry in this major issue, contact one of our sales reps, Howard Brockhouse or Chip Sherrick, today, as sales will close soon. Moving on to our spring edition, the theme of this growingly popular issue is feedstock collection, brokering, trading, co-location, feedstock developments, pretreatment technologies, oilseed processing, and plant maintenance. To give you an idea of the popularity of this theme, last year the lead feature article that I wrote for the spring issue, titled "Where Will All the Feedstock Come From?" has garnered nearly 50,000 views in 7 months. I think that alone speaks volumes to the importance of the matter. Bonus distribution for the spring issue includes the International Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo, the Biodiesel Production Technology Summit, the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers Annual International Meeting, the NBB membership meeting, and it will be mailed to attendees of the National Biodiesel Conference. Moving on to our summer issue. Our summer issue theme is fuel quality, additives, testing equipment, laboratory analytical services, post-treatment technologies, glycerin upscaling, co-product utilization, and alternative products. Bonus distribution for our summer issue includes the Algae Biomass Summit, and the issue will be mailed to attendees of the International Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo, and will also be mailed to attendees of the Biodiesel Production Technology Summit. Finally, our fall issue covers the all-important topics of federal and state policies and regulations, RIN QAP, auditing, accounting, consulting, market growth, and distribution, covering imports, exports, logistics, infrastructure, and retail solutions. In addition to our significant subscriber base John had mentioned earlier, this issue will also be distributed at the fall NBB membership meeting. That is a brief overview of our editorial calendar for the upcoming year. I would like to give a special thanks to our sponsor today, the Biodiesel Production Technology Summit, taking place June 15th through the 17th, 2020 in Minneapolis. Before we get to the exclusive offer, I'd like to bring your attention to a few upcoming events. Our 2020 Pellet Mill Magazine Editorial Outlook webinar will take place November 22nd at 10 a.m. Central Time. As some of you may know, in addition to being editor of Biodiesel Magazine, I'm also senior editor with Biomass Magazine and Pellet Mill Magazine. So if you're got a space in the biomass industries, which is a wide and diverse group of industries, tune in Friday morning for that. Managing editor Anna Simmet will be providing the presentation for that webinar. The Biomass Preparation, Handling, and Storage Workshop will take place in Nashville, February 3rd, and the International Biomass Conference and Expo will also take place in Nashville, February 3rd through February 5th. Then in 4 months after that, we'll have the International Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo, June 15th through June 17th in Minneapolis, which is co-located with our inaugural Biodiesel Production Technology Summit, also in Minneapolis, June 15th through 17th. And finally, our exclusive discount. Attendees of this webinar can save 20% on one full-page advertisement in Biodiesel Magazine. This expires January 1st, so it would be a great opportunity to purchase a discounted full-page ad in our upcoming winter issue. Our broadcast is now concluding. I want to thank you once again for joining us today, and we look forward to working with you in 2020. Have a great afternoon.